What's up, y'all? This is the Roommate Investor back with another video, and today we're going to talk about the key to your real estate business and how to really excel your real estate business, which is through your contractors. Any real estate person knows your contractors is going to be the backbone of your business. Whether you're flipping, renting, pretty much anything that you're doing in real estate, your contractors are going to be the key. Just with any business, you have to manage people. We have to manage contractors, tenants, admins, wholesalers, realtors, pretty much everyone that you're dealing with, you have to manage to an extent. And really, that's with any business, but specifically with real estate, the contractors are key. Once you have good contractors, you want to make sure that you're managing them effectively so you don't lose them. Because when you have good contractors, it's really hard to replace them. And you want to make sure that you're always keeping them happy to an extent. So I'm going to talk about some things I've been doing to not only find, but to keep these contractors as well, and to build and establish a good rapport with these people. I'm going to save the number one key to managing these contractors last, so you want to stick through the video. Also, make sure you hit like and subscribe to follow the channel and to support the channel and for the next video. Okay, one thing you want to do when managing contractors, you have to understand it's always going to be a give and take relationship. What do I mean? Sometimes you may pay a little more than what you want to pay, and another contractor may have a cheaper price. Remember, cheaper isn't always better. The general rule that goes around the real estate community is that you can have two out of the three. You can have good, fast, and cheap, but you can't have all three. So you want to choose two out of the three. So with that being said, just because another contractor is more doesn't mean that you should use them, and doesn't mean that they're better. Even if they are, it's a give and take. Sometimes they can work with you and give you the best pricing or lower pricing than what they would normally do. And sometimes you can work with them and pay them more than what they would normally do. Or just pay them what they think they're worth on this job as opposed to another job. It's give and take. We all have different views and viewpoints, but they're the ones doing the work. 9 times out of 10, what they're saying is probably what the price is. Now, of course, we can always negotiate, but you don't want to be that person negotiating every single thing. So you have to pick and choose your battles. Sometimes I'm negotiating with them. Sometimes I'm just saying, I know you do good work. You're always there for me. Go ahead. No negotiations needed. I'm going to pay you your price, pay you what you want. And even if it's more than what you want to pay, it's all about longevity. Remember, these are the most important people. And when you find the good one, you want to make sure you can keep them. You also want to make sure they're going to come back. Paying them what they want and not always negotiating with them for every little thing, nitpicking every little thing, they're always going to come back. When something goes wrong and you need someone to hurry up and get back there the next morning, these are going to be the guys who come to your rescue. Being in a position where you're nitpicking and then you need to call them, they're going to either charge you again, or they just may not show up because they feel like they're going to be negotiated or it's not worth it. And now you're out of luck when you need something done right away. So remember, it's a give and take, and don't always nitpick. Now, another thing is, you're not always going to agree. When these happen, you don't ever want to get in your feelings and start an argument, but you always want to have the mindset of resolution first. And you want to keep your tone and the way that you're speaking to just a regular level. Even if they may get a little more anxious or a little more aggressive, you're the owner, you're the business owner. You have to always be thinking with the end in mind. For example, what if you're halfway through a project and you have a major disagreement? Do you really want to go back and forth and argue? And now the contractor leaves the job and now you're stuck halfway through, already paid them money, and now you have to bring someone else in and double pay and triple pay. It's not smart. You always want to be thinking with the end goal in mind. If they really did something that you didn't like, or really did something that you feel like you can't come back from, but it wasn't unethical, it was clearly maybe just a disagreement, you could at least let them finish out the job, and then you can reconvene from there and see which direction you want to go. But the worst thing to do is start getting in arguments and going back and forth, and now they're walking off, or you may have said the wrong thing, they've said the wrong thing. Remember, you're the owner, and these are your properties, and this is what's most important at the end of the day. It's the project. And remember, you're managing the project, and you have people depending on you. Whether that's future tenants, whether that's, you're a lender, or even yourself. You're making monthly payments on these projects. You don't want to do anything to extend the term of this and now push everything back. So you always want to just make sure you're keeping a good rapport. Even if y'all have a falling out or you decide to go in a different direction, you should still have a good rapport when that happens. You should never get to the point where it's just like a big falling out and you're never talking to them again or anything like that. So always keep a clear level head when you're dealing and negotiating, and just be mindful of what your end goal is and what the most important thing is, the project. Key number 3, always make sure that you have multiple contractors who do the same thing. What you don't want to do is get to the point where you have one good electrician, one good plumber, one good HVAC person, and then you stop and then you only use them. The problem with this is it works until it doesn't. Yeah, you're going to be fine for a while, but remember, everyone can't attend to just you and your job and your work at the time that you need. So in order to combat this, you always want to have 2 or 3 contractors who do the same thing, who's always there on call, basically. By this, I mean you've already built up rapport, you've already established some type of relationship with multiple plumbers, multiple electricians. I like to have 2 or 3 per category, as I just stated. So 2, 3 guys who do concrete, 2, 3 people who do, siding and roof. A few people who just do everything. And by setting it up like this, you'll never put yourself in a position where you have to wait weeks for someone because they're already working on another job. And now you're sitting here calling around trying to find someone else. Now you're bringing in a new person who you may not trust, you may not know. And that's definitely a recipe to have things go south. The best way to do this is when you already have that good person, continue to look for more. Don't just get a good person and stop. Always continue looking for more until you at least have 2 or 3 for that same job. Now, the number 1 thing that you want to do in order to maintain your contractor relationships and keep this thing going in order for you to scale is that even when you have one good contractor, say one good plumber, say you have 5 houses, instead of giving each house to that one plumber, even though they're going to do a great job, you want to keep your other people funneling work. You want to keep funneling work to everyone. You could have your best person maybe do 70%, 80%, 85% of those jobs, but you always want to be giving that last 15, 20, 25% to the other people who can do the same job. For example, if you have 5 houses, maybe one plumber can do, and your main plumber can do the other 4 houses, or 3 houses to 2 houses, and things like that. By doing this, you're keeping your pipeline going, you're keeping those relationships fresh and established, you're giving them work, and they're always going to, be able to come back to you when you need them to. So now if your main plumber is out, you'll still have a fresh relationship with your secondary plumber or your third plumber. You're also giving these other people smaller jobs and maintenance jobs and recommendations as well. If you already know that your main plumber is busy, maybe you can refer your second or third plumber out. Maybe your third plumber can do maintenance jobs for you, and so on. So you're always keeping everyone in the loop and funneling them, even when you don't have to. You always have to keep this in mind, because when you need them, they're going to be there. With that being said, make sure you follow, like, and subscribe if you like the video, and leave a comment and let me know what you think.